welcome to Diecast Restos. My name is Jason and this is the Matchbox 63A Service Ambulance Ford 3-ton 4x4. It was introduced in 1959 and remained in the range until 1963. This is yet another military model that has seen much outdoor play, with a big old clump of mud caught up in the cab. That's in addition to the mud coating the exterior. The wheels are seized up through rust, although the front axle does rotate at least. I have two models for restoration today. This one is slightly better in terms of paint coverage, but it is also missing its decals and silver trim. This one also had the crimped axles. You may be thinking that this truck looks markedly like the 37A and the 38A carrier trucks. And that is because when Ford won the British government contracts for military vehicles, Ford did not have a Ford control unit on which to base the vehicle, and so carrier Bantam cabs were bought off the shelf and badged as Ford Thames. Here is one of those Ford Thames E4 trucks in real life. No drilling today, instead I use pliers to unclip the split rivet. It is a little bit fiddly as there's very little to grip hold of. Here is that dirty interior. To loosen the wheels, I give the base a dose of WD-40. After much rolling between my thumbs, the wheels start to rotate freely again. I then can remove the axle ends using my rotary tool. The front left axle support was bent out of shape, so I straighten that up. Here are all the parts ready for the caustic soda paint strip bath. From my research, the Ford Thames E4 4x4 was first introduced for military use in 1951. Powered by a Ford V8 petrol engine, it was available in both all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive layouts. It was also used as a light anti-aircraft armament and would tow a Bofors gun. The model had few variations aside from the crimped or rounded axle ends. It had silver trim applied to the headlights and often the front bumper. This was something I decided to omit as there was a degree of outrage at applying a chrome bumper to a military vehicle in my 68A Austin radio truck restoration. All the models had a Red Cross logo attached to each side. Now I will apply Tamiya's fine light grey surface primer. Being one of the earlier models, it has a lot of intricate detailing on the casting. There are 6 minute vents cast into the 3 sides of the box section of the truck, and the doors are all cast in with detailed hinge arrangements. Next, I sand away the dense layer of rust wrapped around the axles. Perhaps I needed a more coarse grit to begin with. Now I move on to cleaning the dirt and rust from the knobbly black plastic wheels. As with all of my military makeovers, I've committed to using the same paint for each of them. This is the Tamiya TS5 Olive Drab, that will look nothing like this once it has dried. The finish is almost a matte look. I'm happy with it even though Matchbox's usual choice was a deep shade of green, somewhere between sort of a dark khaki and British racing green. Although wet, it hasn't run and collected on the detailing to obscure it, so this is why time and again I've gone back to it. Here's the base as well. The wheels are all coated in Citadel Gloss Nuln Oil. Once dry, they are tapped back onto the axles. The process of reassembly is fairly straightforward. The tongue fits into the slot at the back of the body, and with a firm, the base is secured to the body again. I use my Molotochrome paint pen to give an added shine to the axle ends and to fill in those bulbous headlights. As for the other model, I do the exact same, but I use my vice grip to crimp the axle ends. I've got some fairly low quality Red Cross symbol decals to apply to the sides of the ambulance. After wetting the panel where the decal will attach, I use some tweezers to pick it up and then move it into position. The cotton bud is used to move the decal from the backing paper to the model gently. It takes a bit of time to accurately position it. Once I'm happy, I can begin squeezing out some of that excess moisture by rolling the cotton bud over the surface. So a reminder of what we started off with. This Ford ambulance had been well used in the field, sporting a very muddy livery. It was carrying mud in the cabin, and the axles had almost entirely seized up. It was missing the decals, the trim, and, well, pretty much all of its original green paint job. Once again, this was a military model that had seen its fair share of action, so this is what it looks like now. First mention goes to the fairly dodgy Red Cross emblem. In hindsight, perhaps I should have trimmed it down some more, but I couldn't afford to do it again, as at the time of recording, we're at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, meaning my usual suppliers aren't currently taking orders for replacement parts. Aside from that, the green paint was looking good all over. The wheels are nice and shiny and roll freely once again, and the chrome really makes a difference to the headlights and axle ends. Personally, I think the Red Cross looks better on the right side, but it still isn't superb. Anyhow, please like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again for the next one. Bye for now.